Hey, this is Steven from RC Engineering, and welcome to my quick mini review of the jumper. And this is kind of my first look and mini review. I've been running it now for about 3 weeks, and so I wanted to talk to you guys about it because I actually really enjoy it. So I'm going to do about a 12-minute review here. So it comes in this nice kind of fiberglass weave sort of carrying case, really nice. It is pretty loose in there, so I would suggest you definitely carry it around the carrying case. I might do some printing to make it sit in there better. And again, this is the Jumper T8 SG V2, not the V2 Plus, it's the V2. So I'll explain to you why I did that here in a second. Anyways, yeah, so here's the controller. It's very small, as you can see. I did not realize how small this is, and in the reviews that I looked at before I decided to purchase this guy, it did not really communicate the size. So we're going to go over a few things here. We're going to go over the size, kind of the things I like about it, the things that I don't like about it, and some of the things that you don't think about that you're going to need buying it out of the box, and also where I bought it from, and you know, what I suggested and what I not suggested. So really small transmitter, pretty small. I believe it's a 12-channel transmitter. It's running deviation, which I'm going to show, and with a certain thing that I'm going to mention in the pros and the cons, I'm going to talk about how it becomes pretty heavy for what it is. So it does feel very nice. Okay, so first thing that I'm going to talk about, I'm going to go through all of each from the top to the bottom. Foldable, just dipole antenna. It is, you can take it off, you can put a new one on there. I'm just going to run with the dipole. You have a nice handle here. The switches are very nice quality switches. To me, it feels like they won't break or anything like that. At the top you have a PPM out, I believe, and a USB for flashing. Back in the old version it used to be on the inside. Now the USB for flashing is out here. And then you have the gimbals. Oh, actually, sorry, you have the next one. You have aux 4, which is on the side, and you have aux 5, which is on the other right side. And these are just potentiometer thumb wheels or index finger wheels. So then you have your trim tabs, and then you have your buttons, and then you have your LCD in the middle. So I'm going to go into some of the different things and the reason why I bought this guy, V2, the regular V2 instead of the V2 Plus. The main reason is the OLED screen on the V2 Plus. I've heard a lot of things about not being able to see it in sunlight. And generally an OLED screen you cannot see in sunlight. That's just, you cannot see LEDs in sunlight unless they're shaded. So I didn't want to go out and have to shade this. This guy is really bright. You know, and I believe you could turn up all those settings. So I mean, it's really bright, so even in direct sunlight you could easily see everything that's on this screen. The screen compared to my DX7 is tiny, but it's perfect for what I need it for, just for quick glance. You know, I'm not setting PIDs or anything like that on my transmitter, so I don't need the screen to be huge. I just need to see, you know, what I've connected, you know, what I'm trying to connect with, and all that stuff. So another thing, obviously, if you're looking at this, the jumper, as you know, and also what's in the title, is it's a multi-protocol transmitter. So it has pretty much anything that you want to fly. But in addition to that, it does have the DIY box on the back where you could put external modules for higher wattage transmitters or a different frequency. For example, Crossfire, that runs in the United States at 900 megahertz, I believe, and 250 or something milliwatt transmission. So way smaller of a frequency, so a lot more distance. Anyways, so yeah, just wanted to get that out of the way. So that's one of the reasons why I bought the V2, is because of this screen. It's just a regular LCD. I don't need an OLED. OLED's just for lower battery consumption. But with that, it comes with the regular gimbals, the potentiometer gimbals, not the Hall effect gimbals. But I saw a few problems with the Hall effect gimbals. Hall effect sensors, they work on magnetism. So sometimes they get affected by your transmission, and this is a 150 milliwatt transmitter inside. So sometimes that transmission will interfere with your Hall effect. Your Hall effect will pick that up as a magnetic field sometimes. Yeah, so these guys are perfectly fine for me. There is some weird thing where sometimes you'll hear like a spring moving around on the inside, and I'm not a crazy big fan of how stiff this is. This is very, very tight right here, but it does feel like over time it is breaking in and being easier to actuate, but I will eventually open this up and change it. One of the cons of this guy, I'm going to go ahead and turn it off right now. I'll show you guys the firmware here in a second, and that's just a regular push button. One of the cons out of this guy out of the box is it does not come with a battery. But what it does come with is it does come with this pack for double A's. I'm sure you can see it in there, but it comes with a pack for 4 double A's, and this guy you could fit anything in there. It takes a 2S. You can see there it just runs a regular 2S balance port, and so originally I ran a 2S 800, and that gets plenty of battery time, plenty of lifetime out of this. What I will probably be doing it, because with the regular double A's it's very, very heavy. What I'm probably going to be doing is I'm probably going to be putting in nickel metal hydrides in there. And some of the nickel metal hydrides, you get 2,700 amp hours out of them per charge, milliamp hours out of them per charge, which is even more than the lithium ion pack that I had in my DX7. And in my DX7 I had to charge it about every month and a half. So with this guy I'll probably be able to charge it every 2 months, 2.5 months or something like that, which is crazy. So yeah, so that's the main thing. It doesn't come with any batteries, so you buy it and then it doesn't work right out of the box unless you put double A's, because it comes with that carriage, or you just put in one of your 2S lipos in there. But after that, that's pretty much all that I don't like. Again, I don't really like the friction right here, but I could easily change it. And it does feel very, very nice and sturdy and everything that you're looking for. And so the other thing I really, really like about it is the firmware, the deviation firmware. It's very, very familiar to work with because I came from Spectrum. So, for example, this is like the forward button, this is the backward button, this is up, left, right, down. So here it says Gremlin, which is one of the quads I built based on the flight test Gremlin. So you hit the forward button, there's everything, just 4 menus there. You go model menu, and you can set up your model, you go into your mixers. The mixers are pretty hard to understand from the start, and another thing I'm going to mention that's kind of bad about the Mote protocols, which I'll mention a little later. And here you can set up all your timers, your telemetry, your trims, data logging, voice config, and out of the box I think this just has a vibration, does not have voice config. So it has an expansion module, and then you have to add the voice config in there. And then you can see transmitter menu, transmitter config, channel monitor, which here you can see all the channels moving. Range test, basic stuff. USB, and then you could just turn the USB drive on and then use that guy as, I don't know if you could do run the simulator through the USB or you have to do the PPM out, but yeah. So one of the main things that I don't like about the multi protocol, which is good for learning on it makes you better at working on quads and other airplanes and stuff, is that generally when you bind to something, all of your channels will be messed up. So you'll have some that will be backwards or reverse. You'll have channels that are mismatched, mismapped. So you have, like, for example, on my quads, when I rebound it to this guy off of my DX7, the roll was actually bound to the yaw. So when you would do this, it would yaw. But pretty easy to set that up in the mixers. As you saw there, you just go in here, model menu, mixers, mixer, and then you hold right, and then you could reorder where all these are. Or what you could do is you could just go in here and you go to down, and then it says simple, and that's a type of mix. And then you can just tell it what source, and you change, and it changes the order there on the right, and then you're good to go. But yeah, let me go ahead and show you how you would bind. And this is obviously my favorite part of this. Here you have your TX power, goes in increments of 25 watts, I believe. 10 watts, 30 watts, 100 watts, 150. 150 is max. PPM, and then here you have all your different options. So all the way from DSMX all the way forward. Absolutely incredible. I love this transmitter. I'm actually going to be changing to it from my DX7, so obviously I highly endorse it. I'm going to go ahead and shut it off. We're getting close to my time limit that I was allowing for myself here for this sort of, I guess you could say, quick review. One of the things, what was I going to say? I was going to say that the place where I bought it on eBay. I found it for a steal for $89 shipped from Texas. Free shipping, shipped it right to my door. Normally these run for $110 for this version, and the V2 Plus runs for